my background is in machine learning, actually. So I was doing machine learning for about 10 years before blockchain. And I was a dual researcher. I worked actually on the research that now is kind of fundamental of all this GPT stability and all this work that now kind of revolutionizes AI. Obviously, a lot of people did a lot of work on top of that and made amazing progress. And so I actually left to start an AI company. So Alex and I, my co-founder, we started Near AI, which was driving pretty much what now GitHub Copilot is. So we were trying to automate coding and kind of create coding tools for regular people who want to interact with software in different ways. And we believe, and I still believe, there's a fundamental change that will happen when everybody is one way or another programmer. And I think what we see right now with ChatGPT actually showcases that thesis. And so that was 2017. We had the model, we had a lot of tools, but we actually had a lot of interesting data. So we built a crowdsourcing platform where we had students around the world, China, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, kind of countries where there's smart students, maybe not very well off. And we were engaging them to create data sets for us for the challenges we had, for the models we had. Now, the shortcoming was we did not have $300 million worth of compute to train these models. So we did not make as much progress back then. But we had a challenge. We had a challenge of paying all of these people around the world. Because all of those countries, one way or another, have some capital control. Some people don't have bank accounts. Students generally have a very weird kind of setup, how they do banking and finances. And we were trying to do it from the US, which had its own challenges. And so we turned to blockchain to solve our own pain as developers. Hey, we wanted to pay people as part of our software instead of doing a whole, operational system where we need to have people paying, slips and receiving invoices and doing all this stuff. And, blockchain sounded like a system, global payment system that should work, where you can program money. And so this was May 2018. This was already post-crash, and it was good time to start investigating. And it was still pretty hard to use, or very hard to use. It was very expensive for the use case we had. We were paying a few cents to 10, 20 cents per task. And so the transaction fees back then on Ethereum were 30 cents. So it was more than we were paying. Remember, 30 cents now on Ethereum seems like a cheap day. And so we started looking around. It's hey, it cannot be that this is state of the art. So we started looking around. We looked at obviously all of the protocols that were launching back in 18. Most of them were really broken, from fundamental perspective. And then we were looking at obviously all the things that were being built, and none of them really tried to solve the problems we believed these systems had, which was kind of true scalability, something that can scale with the usage, and simplicity, right? Actually really easy for new people to use and for the new developers to build. And so that's where how we got it is hey, we have a problem that we would have used blockchain for. There's no blockchain that actually is secure enough, simple to use, and scalable. And so we're well, that's an opportunity for us to actually fill that. And the idea was always to kind of build a blockchain and then go and build applications on top of it. And so I'll probably go back to this, but now we actually at the stage where we building something on top of this that is really exciting.